right, guys, I'm back. I'm here to do Married at First Sight, season 17, episode number 2. And I really don't have a lot. I have a note here to make sure that you guys check below for any Lifetime clips. If I don't have to load them up and Lifetime has done it, then I'm going to put them in this. My plan is to put them in this video. In the videos that I do, like when I'm doing my recap. But there may come an occasion where I'm able to announce it in the title to look at the Lifetime clips, below. So that's what that's going to mean. Okay, so we got Emily and Brennan. They got married. And one of the first questions he asked her, so you've never been in a relationship? And so they had that whole conversation. I pick up a decent vibe, on there. I've got them as a couple to look at that I think that they may actually, be successful. I can't think of anything right now other than that. I didn't take that many notes. So, like I said, this is going to go pretty quick. So we're looking at Lauren and Orion. I thought that their wedding was interesting. He seems to be accepting that she's black, and she's accepting that he's indigenous Native American, man. So I thought that was nice. She's really interested, to hear about his culture. I don't think they've had the queer conversation yet, so maybe that's something that we'll see maybe tonight on the episode or, on the honeymoon. So she was getting ready and they were talking about, the expectations. And she was saying that she didn't know if you could turn a 2 into a 5. She said, yeah, you could stretch a 4 into a 5, but I don't know if you could stretch a 2 into a 5. And somebody else mentioned this too. I thought it was out of 10. So I do get the point that she was trying to make, but I thought that the standard was out of 10. So, okay, Lauren. Oh, and then there were questions about her being real proud of her blackness, but then now she's married, to somebody who's not black. And what I challenge, to that is black men aren't of a caliber at this point where they can take care of wives and where they can take care of children. So I encourage any woman, I don't care what race you are, to find that quality man, and I don't care what race he is, that's going to give you the support that you're going to need to raise a solid family and who you can work with, to build together. And don't be like me. I was stupid and I waited on a black man, to find me worthy. And I put that in quotes because they ain't worthy of nothing. And now here I am in my 50s looking back and saying, maybe I should have took different risks. Maybe I should have, given up on these, given up on them and really just started looking, for the benefit, for myself. Instead of always worrying about, the community that's really not concerned about itself. I mean, the black community is dying. We have stage 4 cancer, and it has metastasized throughout our whole body. This is where we are as a community. So I'm not of the ilk of O'Shea Duke Jackson, who went around talking about he a Pan-African and he this and he that and he doing all this from Africa now. He ain't over here doing none of it. Okay, whatever he talking and doing, he doing it over in Africa. To the point where he don't even want to support our children. He's saying that for a black man to take care of a child that doesn't have a father in their lives, that's denigrating them. That's denigrating in O'Shea Duke Jackson. He get caught up in this Kevin Samuels nuttiness, of a high value man. I don't see a high value black man. I don't see Denzel Washington as a high value black man. I don't see Barack Obama as a high value black man. A high value black man doesn't exist on this earth, okay? And they've done it to themselves. If I ever see one, if I ever, encounter one, then yeah, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I met one. But the men that I have met throughout my life that were of a caliber, now that I know what I know about men, even they weren't. And I met some, pretty decent, dudes. And they just don't have the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge or the skill set, like I said, to be able to take care of families and keep their communities together. So, yeah, you ain't never going to get no respect out of me if I can't see that out of you. All right, so who else we got, child? Because I'm sick of talking about black men. All right, so we got Lauren and Orion. They got married. Okay. I like their little conversation after. And then we got Becca and Austin. So I thought she did really good coming into the venue. She was greeting everybody. She was just full of love and just, had her cup full. And so Austin seemed like he was emotional about the moment. I think he was the most emotional of the grooms. I want to say that. And I thought that their vow, exchange was really cute. I didn't like her dress. I actually didn't like the dresses of anybody, honestly. And I didn't like hers. The sleeves and stuff, yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. And then she was talking about how she couldn't wear anything that was form-fitting because she's still recovering, from her abdominal surgery. And so Becca, okay, so she had her photographer friends that were with her as her bridesmaids, and one of them was really emotional. And she was like, yeah, girl, I didn't think you was going to be like this. And I guess, just kind of, it just the moment. You meet that moment, and then you don't even understand how emotional you're going to be at times. So I could understand the friends. Let me see. Oh, okay. So one of the things in her vows is that she was going to let him play with her N64, and he was like, yeah, I got one. I think he said he had one actually with him while at the venue while he was waiting to get to the altar. So that's what I got. I'm like, wow, okay. Y'all some video game playing people. And I haven't talked about Michael yet, so okay, wait. And I have here that he seems cool, but it's to be determined. I have a heart by the fact that he cried. And I love me some Becca already, girl. She has done two things. She has said, right place, right time, right person. And that is my mantra that I say to myself every day. I say it all day, that it pops into my head and it's a manifestation belief that I am incorporating, within myself. I love that. And then she said, F the patriarchy. And that's what I've been trying to educate women, about, is that we've been had, child. We've been had. Men have used the patriarchy and they have abused it. And they have used it to put themselves in a position of superiority when they aren't any more intelligent or competent than we are. We have competency in different things. So we both have strengths and weaknesses that the other can do and fill in, for each other so that we can come together as a cohesive unit. I don't know why this is so difficult for people to understand. And maybe I do because of ego. I mean, you start letting your ego get in the way of your relationships and the best path forward for yourself and for, the people that you're connected to. Once you let ego get in there, then you're inviting poison, into your situationship. And it could end up backfiring, on you. The thing that you think that you're most mad about today, oh my goodness. Who was that? It was one of them in the season, I want to say last season, Dominique, when she was telling Pastor Cal, a dog in the bed, that's a deal breaker. Then she done went got divorced from her husband and went and got a dog, and now she in the bed with the dog. And when she was having that conversation at the beginning of last season, she was 10 toes down, where she was all in her feelings about the dog in the bed. You know, that's a deal breaker. Okay, Dominique, see, this is why. You want to hold on to, these ideas, this. And when you lack understanding. And she ended up blowing up her marriage. Oh, absolutely nothing. Something that they could have talked about, something she could have given herself time, to, ruminate. Girl, just think about it. Go visit some dogs. Go talk to people, who got dogs. Go look at YouTube videos about dogs. Before you sit up and make this kind of solid statement, and I do it. I've done it too. I've said things, that are inappropriate. And when I thought about it later, I'm like, you know what? I think I put a little bit too much smoke on a situation that really didn't require that much. We also have another saying in the black community: when you put 20 on 10, you put 20 pounds on something that can only hold 10 max. And so you just destroy, whatever it is that you're trying to build, because you're putting too much emphasis on something that really didn't require it to be all of that. So, yeah, girl, I'm looking at Becca. I'm hoping that she is my girl, like Nicole was last season. And she doesn't drink, so they had like a non-alcoholic beverage option and alcoholic beverage option. I agree with some people too about them talking outside, but and this is not me being racist. I'm just telling you, white people don't mind being outside the same way that black people do, and their tolerance. I mean, they can sit outside the snow all day, and I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I might be out there for about a good 20 minutes. And I'm going to be inside, for the rest of the day. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's just not my flavor. I'm not going to be, in and out of the water all the time. I might do a day of water here and there. But yeah, you're not going to see me at the beach every day. That's just not my jam. Black people just know. I mean, if I'm going to be out there fishing or doing something, washing my clothes or, but just to be out there in the sun, laying down, sweating, yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah, that's something that they do. But I was, I wouldn't have been out there either, having no conversation, trying to get to know somebody. Unless, and the other thing I thought about too is that they may have those fans out there where people can sit, because we have them here in California. They're like torches that you can have, that people have in the evening, because when you're in a desert climate, it can get real cold at night. So if you're having a party or something, then you bring those out, or like the tiki torches and stuff like that, that you see. So they could have had, other support for heat out there that we just didn't see. And I hope that is the case. So we'll check in on Becca and Austin and see, how they're coming along. So then the last couple that we're waiting to see get married is Cameron and Claire. And Cameron is from New Zealand. I remember he said Auckland, and he didn't say New Zealand in the beginning of the thing. And I forgot that Auckland was in New Zealand. But then when I went and looked it up, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he is from New Zealand. Okay, cool. And so he's, again, here in the country. His family is miles and miles and miles away. And he sent Claire a kiwi. I knew exactly what it was. So that's kind of odd that me, and maybe it's because I'm curious about Australia and New Zealand and that whole part of the world. But yeah, I knew that was a kiwi. And she didn't. So hopefully, it'll make sense to her, because she seemed like, okay, what is this? And looked like she's getting worried. But there's really wasn't anything for her to worry about, because he was just introducing the part of his culture, to her. And nobody knew that it was a kiwi. So I thought that was strange, as well. Okay, so I have nothing remarkable for Claire. I like her mom. I like her sisters. I like the support, that they're giving her. I thought that Cameron looked really good in his blue suit. I mean, the rest of the guys, I think, chose the basic black, but he went with the blue, and I think it looked real good, really good on him. And I'm glad that he has a sense of fashion. So that was cool. And so we'll see how they fare tonight when we finish the wedding, and then we can move on to the after party, to the after wedding festivities. So then they showed us something with Michael, and apparently the woman, the bride, was the one who gave him that crown and the sword, which I think was very elaborate. And his friends asked him, he said, "Well, do you have to give it back?" He said, "Well, she didn't ask for it." I don't know if he's going to keep it, if he's going to donate it, or if he's going to gift it or re-gift it, to somebody else. But, you know, a lot of people think that her voice was dubbed over. I'm not sure of that. I don't have any evidence of it. I can see why people are suspicious about it, but I'm not going to invest anything in it because I don't have any evidence to say whether it was a voiceover or not. If they have more to say, about it, then, I'll try to let y'all know. So I don't know what's going to happen, with Michael. I appreciate that they are trying to give him as much, screen time as possible, considering, how his situation went so horribly, wrong. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on Michael's journey as we go through the season. So I think that is it, guys. Hopefully I have a better sense and understanding of them, and then I can actually, talk about it, for a little bit longer. But as of right now, this is what I have. I forgot that I was supposed to do this video, and that's why you're getting this version and all of this, right now. So, is there anything else? Still praying about the whole thing in Israel. I actually had a birthday party I was telling y'all about a couple of weekends ago that I went to. And the woman who I've known, for a while, since I've been in San Francisco, she's Jewish. And so, of course, there were a whole lot of Jewish people, over there. And anytime I get around any religious group, I don't care who you are, especially the major three, I let everybody know that I am not religious, okay? I have things that I do that people would consider religious. My approach to them is of a non-religious standpoint, and that's just where I am, in my journey. And I had one of the guys, he was like, "Well, why you throw Judaism, in it?" Because it is dangerous. Judaism is just as dangerous as Christianity, and that's just as dangerous as Islam. It's all dangerous. So they all sitting up pointing fingers at each other like, "Oh, you the false religion, and you the false religion, you the false," and they are false religions. And what I've decided too is that the next conversation that I'm going to have around Jewish people, especially, since this whole thing is going on with the Palestinians, is to really get them away from the we're God's chosen people. Because Jacob had 12 sons. 12. Now go in there and look at Revelation, okay? There are 12 tribes. 2 of them are missing. But there is a lineage. And then if you actually go back and read the Bible, he had children. Those 12 sons came from different women. They didn't just come from women who were Israelites. Rebecca gave him her slave that wasn't an Israelite, and Leah gave him her slave that wasn't an Israelite. So he had children with women who were not Israelites. Look at Boaz and Ruth. Ruth was a Moabite. So she was adopted, into the community. She wasn't, by birth of the 12. Her lineage came from Lot and his 2 crazy, daughters. So, and Moses' wife. Moses' wife wasn't, of the 12 tribes. That's why her and Miriam didn't get along, with each other. So yeah, I mean, this is it's something. It's really something, and people want to try and superimpose what truth they think they have found out today on a historical narrative that people really don't even understand, and I'm sick of it. So yeah, if I get a chance to let Jewish people know that I understand that there are 12 tribes, 12 sons of Jacob. There's no way in the world one population of people can satisfy everything that is talked about in what is it, Genesis through Malachi. I think Malachi's the last book in the Old Testament. So before you get, to Matthew. So yeah, child, just miss me. Um, Please continue to pray, because I just look, man. Nobody wants this to go off the rails. Because once you jump off the rails, I don't know how you're going to get that back on the track again. And so we're in very precarious times. I want to encourage us to be our best selves. I haven't been my best self throughout this whole mess, but I'm still encouraging myself and you guys to get it together. You make mistakes, apologize for them, be an adult, be a human being as best you can. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I look forward, to your comments, and still haven't decided what I'm going to do with this after party business. So I appreciate the comments, people asking me about it. But yeah, if I can't get support for the regular stuff that I'm putting up, I don't see any incentive. Y'all going to have to give me some incentive to want to take that next step and put the after show up. Sorry. All right. Well, you guys take care. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you next week.